Hello everyone, Luis Concepcion here from Strategic Profit Line Trading, coming to you with the plan of the week for week number 24. Here's our disclosures. This contest for educational purposes only, not providing any investment advice. Past performance does not guarantee future results, and all investments involve risks. Here's our agenda for the week. Cover the news like always, provide a market overview of the indices, and we only have 42 companies reporting, so earnings season is winding down right before it picks right back up. And the market is closed on Friday, so probably a slow week. But again, we'll do our best to provide you with things that we may think may hit this week. Had a slow week last week. Markets were very volatile. It is June. It's the most volatile month, the month of the year. Went 1-1. No entries with 7. In progress is 1. And that was that. Here's the outlook for the week. No big companies. So I think what I'm gonna do this week that I usually don't do is I'm gonna give you a bonus of maybe one or two of the Mag 7. And if you want to know how to get those weeklies, consider becoming a member. Went ahead and I updated what worked, what didn't. MPAA, I put it down as a loss. However, if you would have took that as a vertical in options, it would have worked, bringing us to 69 and 15 on the year. Transitioning into the news, nothing happening for us on Monday in the US. However, for those of you trading futures or forex, we realize there's a lot of tentative news in the evening for the Japanese yen and the Australian dollar, so be mindful of that. On Tuesday, no news for the US again. Waiting again in the evening for those of you trading futures and forex. The British pound will be affected. The big thing we're waiting for this week is going to be on Wednesday. First FOMC meeting that Jay Powell is not hosting because he has stepped down, and we have the new Fed Chair Walsh to see what he says. Right now, they're expecting no interest rate hikes, which shall be interesting because POTUS put them in there to reduce them. So Wednesday will be interesting in the market. So just be mindful of that and see what that brings to the markets. But again, first meeting where Jerome Powell will not be speaking. So shall be interesting on what the new Fed chair has for guidance for us in the upcoming months. Be mindful the New Zealand dollar after hours has some reports as well as the British pound. And then moving on to Thursday, nothing, British pound, euro being affected, the Swiss franc, and nothing for the US. We might just figure out what happens on Wednesday with probably the volatility from the new Fed chair. And then on Friday, the markets are closed due to Juneteenth. So moving into our charts, as you can see, our SPX level held beautifully, and it hit the 72.25 last week on 2 occasions. It allowed you to get long. For those of you who did, great. So that level is still intact. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the level now and adjust it to a lower time frame, and we're going to change it, and it's going to be 7238.19 to 7170.27. If the S&P 500 falls, we can utilize this level again. Uh, Utilizing the supply zone, 7563.69 to 7625.85, and we are scheduled to open in the middle of nowhere this week. So again, hopefully some of you got long or took some long positions, and we'll go from there. On the NASDAQ overshot our level. So this zone is no longer valid. And this was due to POTUS one day saying we're going to bomb the Middle East, and then the next day we're not bombing it. So caused for all our tech stocks to overshoot. And there was a lot of money taking out of the markets to pay for SpaceX. So that should be interesting as well. As SpaceX option market opens on Tuesday, and to see what liquidity they take out of that. But in the interim, our new level here is going to be 27,835.79 to 27,485.99 on the demand side. And then on the supply side, 30,4050 to 3791.84. That's going to do it for the NASDAQ. Dow Jones, same thing. Our supply level hit for those of you who took it, 513.57 and 515.24. The Dow Jones is stronger than the other markets, so we are going to remove this. And this week, I'm saying there is no more supply on the Dow Jones. Same thing with the Dow Jones fell because we're bombing Iran and then took right back off. So no supply. First demand zone, we're going to leave this here at 497.16 to 492.30. Moving on to the almighty rut. The almighty rut went ahead. This level did work for us last week, and we dropped from here. And this week it did not work again. So that supply is out. Demand all the way down here at 2721.44 to 2690.31 on the macro level. There are demand zones on the micro level, but don't cover that here. Now, moving into earnings, first company I have for you is going to be David Buster's, ticker sign PLAY. This is the last demand zone it has, and after this, pretty much they'll go bankrupt. 7.01 to 4.50 on the demand side, and they have a lot of room, I believe, all the way up to 35.20 to 37.38. So that's going to be David Buster's. Next company I have for you is going to be ticker symbol WLY. On the demand side, 31.09 to 29.86. Next company I have for you is Lazy Boy, ticker symbol LZB. On the demand side, 29.88 to 29.04. And on the supply side, 44.59 to 48.35. Next company I have for you is going to be Progressive, ticker symbol PGR. On the demand side, 182.73 to 175.08. On the supply side, 225.86 to 230.72. Next company I have for you is JBL, ticker symbol JBL. 275.92 to 260.45 on the demand side. There is no supply. Next company I have for you is going to be CarMax, ticker symbol KMX. On the demand side, 31.14 to 26.38, with a subsequent level at 24.79 to 18.22. On the supply side, 56.37 to 62.56. Next company I have for you is going to be ticker symbol SWBI. On the demand side, 12.13 to 11.30. On the supply side, 22.72 to 26.13. Next company I have for you is going to be Kroger, ticker symbol KR. On the demand side, 57.28 to 54.46. Again, 57.28 to 54.46, with a subsequent level at 51.94 to 49.03. And there is no supply in Kroger. Last company I have for you is going to be Accenture, ticker symbol ACN. On the demand side, 150.40 to 136.58, with a subsequent level at 125.83 to 108.44. On the supply side, 275.56 to 291.01. And that's going to do it for the companies that have earnings. But as a bonus this week, let me go ahead and I am going to go with, let's go with Apple. So Apple on the demand side, 275.33 to 265 even, with a subsequent level at 260.89 to 255.65. On the supply side, 306.55 to 317.97. And how about, let's go with Amazon. So for Amazon, as a matter of fact, let's not go Amazon. Let's change that to Microsoft. Here we go. So on Microsoft demand side, 373.36 to 362.51. And on the supply side, 459.70 to 466.19. If you want to get the Mag 7 on a weekly basis, feel free to contact me and or ask about what these yellow boxes mean. And you want to get these on a weekly basis, feel free to subscribe and become a member so that you have more to trade during the week. With that being said, that's going to do it for us for the week. Check out the new website. Feel free to email me if you're not doing so already. Follow me on social media. And until next time, happy trading. And do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button.